pretty cool deck today, kind of obvious synergy. I'll walk you through it. So this is Iron Fist. Now what he does is he moves your next card to the left. Obvious synergy with things like Multiple Man, where when you move this card, you basically duplicate the version of this card, and it's kind of one of our major win conditions. Now you have Kraven, which gets buffed when cards move there, and then you have Nightcrawler, more obvious movement synergy here, but then Cloak is a way for you to get more Multiple Man. So really you have Iron Fist, you have Multiple Man, you have Cloak. All of these work in tandem with each other to guarantee that you're getting Multiple Mans on basically each one of the actual locations. Now, if you move on here, you're going to notice Ironheart. This is to buff Multiple Man. So that way, if you play Multiple Man on 2-drop, this on 3-drop, this allows Multiple Man to get more points, that then those points are in fact duplicated when you do clones of this hero, okay? Which is pretty exciting for me. Vulture, another obvious movement synergy, gets +5 power, so that's going to go in the deck. Jubilee here is a card that I believe gives very good value and can pull other cards out of your deck that can be important. This can make things like Shang-Chi get dropped. This can make things like White Tiger. This is why White Tiger is in here, so that way you can get multiple drops on multiple sides of locations. It can pull Vision in, which can move each time. It can even pull Heimdall, even though that's not the card you're really trying to pull, because Heimdall is more of your win condition at the end, moving everything, duplicating those Multiple Men one more time, as well as moving your Vulture again to give it more power, etc. So let's actually show you kind of how this deck plays out in person now. I've been just started using this deck, and in my personal opinion, it might be, I won't say it's the strongest deck that I've been working with, because I'm still only a few days into the game. At this point, I've been playing it, enough to, or long enough, I should say, to know all the cards. But out of the decks I've played, it's probably been my most enjoyable. So I could play Iron Fist here, which means the next card's going to move to the left, because this is our Multiple Man card. What we're going to do is we're going to play Nightcrawler instead. The goal is, in fact, to try to get Multiple Man onto this here, which moves all cards here to other random locations. If that is true and we can get a Multiple Man there, then that means when it's duplicated, we'll have cards in multiple spots, which would be kind of nice. So we don't want to play the Cloak, and we kind of don't want to play the Iron Fist, but we could play the Iron Fist here. It won't actually be the end of the world, because if we play the Iron Fist here, then end our turn, we can Vulture here next time. It'll bump it to the left, which will then move it on turn 5 and give it +5 for the bump to the left and +5 for moving it again. This should end up being a 13 power card. So we're going to go ahead and play the Vulture right here. It will get bumped to the left by the Iron Fist. Wait for this gentleman play. I'm going to snap now, because I actually think I'm feeling confident, I think is the word for it. There's the snap. So now we wait for him, making his decision. He's playing Kraven also, so it looks like he's playing a very similar deck to the one that we are playing here. He's going to, what is he dropping? I dropped my Vulture, moves to the left, gets +5. All right, so we have another card played by him. Nakia gives the 2 leftmost cards in your hand +2 power. That might actually not be too bad in this deck as well, to be honest with you, with the Multiple Man. So now, I can't really play this card, because it doesn't have a 9-drop yet. I could play Cloak for next turn, hoping that we get a Multiple Man drop. I think what I'm going to end up actually doing, though, is I think I'm going to drop a Ironheart right here, and I'm going to move the Nightcrawler here. The reason for this is I want to give these cards bonus power, and that's what the middle one does here, gives bonus power. And then I'll probably drop a Heimdall there to move it over to the left, which will hopefully win us the leftmost and the rightmost location, is sort of the plan. Because this Vulture, if it goes all the way to the right, if we drop Heimdall here, will still be here as well. So here we go. Okay, we have another Vulture in our hand, which means actually what we're going to do is we're going to drop a Vulture there, because next turn is going to be a big one, and we're going to play a Kraven here, because these are going to move both of these. Now, if the Vulture ends up here, this will buff the Kraven, and we're also about to get some pretty big bonus power from these guys moving here. See what ends up happening. There it is, +5 power. Kraven gets a bonus. He gets another bonus. Our Vulture gets a bonus. We're actually losing in the middle. He has 30 points in the middle. So if we play him, we'll play 8 here. This will increase our Vulture's power one more time, which I believe should win us this, because +5 here, 18 here, should be 26 here, plus either one of these should be able to give us 36 on the left-hand side. He plays all the cards on the left. Let's see what he ends up playing. In fact, we move our cards. We get our +5 powers from both of the Vultures. He has to come up with 9 plus another 15 worth. He plays Hulk, which gives him 13 there. We're 43 in the middle, so I don't think that's beatable. Kraven plays there. Is that enough? Is that going to be enough? It is not enough. And there we go. We win with the Heimdall play at the end. So give this deck a try. It's interesting. There's a couple cards. Let's talk about a couple cards that we could potentially remove from this deck to replace them with. And there's one card that we just ran into there, which actually was kind of smart. So if we go and we look at the 3-drops here, open up our deck 20, go look at the 3-drops. You could put Nokia in here. I hope I get the name. I'm just going to call her Nokia because I like phones. So if you play this character here, that could buff the multiple man, and getting any points of power on the multiple man is what's especially important with this deck, because those bonus powers will duplicate when you'll move them. You'll notice we won even without using the multiple man cheese, which is the primary win condition for this deck. So this deck can win in sort of multiple ways. I also think the 5-drop could potentially be replaced here. The weakest 3 cards are these 3, which is Jubilee, Shang-Chi, as well as White Tiger. I run Shang-Chi just in case, because this is a heavy counter to the Hulk Gamma Radiation location. If people spam that one with Hulks, you play Shang-Chi on turn 4, instantly kills all the Hulks, and you win that location automatically. So I run that because it's an auto win if that location shows up. Jubilee can pull out Vision and can even pull out White Tiger, which is why I've been using that one. But this is probably the weakest card in the whole deck. You could replace White Tiger, and probably the more intelligent choice, if we actually think about it, would probably be Blue Marvel or something similar. You could even, there's an argument to be made, you could run the Professor in order to try to lock down a certain location you guys haven't been competing for, etc. There is multiple ways that you could actually swap this out. So there is a opportunity for a 5-drop to be missed. The other, switched out. So there is one other card, maybe Iron Man. I can see the argument maybe for Iron Man, because you have a lot of buffs going on, and if you have the Iron Man and then you have the Heimdall, which can move it too, you could move the location in which that power gets doubled, and that could catch people off guard too. But really, there's multiple cards 5-drop wise that you could end up actually doing this with. So that would be, I would say, the weakest part of the deck. In full honesty, go see what you would replace that White Tiger with. With that being said, check out Multiple Man deck. Pretty cool, easy, fun, and obvious use. A little bit telegraphed, but probably not too bad of a deck.